This week on the House of Bread show, we sneak into Tesco and record our vlog live in their cafe as we're in there all week collecting food. We also hear from Rob about the monthly comedy gig at the Market Vaults, and as always, much, much more. Right, hello, welcome to the House of Bread show. As you can see this morning, we are doing it from Tesco, live in Tesco.
Yeah.
So, first up on the list, why are we in here?
We're in Stafford in Tesco's, thank you Debbie Green. We're collecting food for a whole week, so we've got a whole team in here, pretty much from 9 o'clock in the morning to 9 o'clock at night, collecting food for our food bank.
It's going to be an epic week.
It's going to be fantastic, yeah.
It's going to be an epic
awesome.
week.
Yeah, so thank you everybody.
So next week's vlog, I'll record lots of stuff that we do in here.
Get a flavour of it.
Yeah, and I'll put it up, and then we'll see exactly what's happened, because we're right at the beginning. We haven't actually done anything at the moment, we're right at the beginning.
We're very excited.
So, moving on to last week, bit of catch up. First off, we need to thank Andy Clapham for the Fun Folk evening.
Yes, thank you Andy. They raised £187 at the Fun Folk event, which is held at the British Legion Club pretty much every college enough, and it's just a lot of fun, and people came along and really got House of Bread, so thank you for those people who've responded, and for the people who want me to follow up the conversation. So we had a little time to hear some music being played and sung, and people actually responded very positively. So thank you, Andy. That was really good.
That was fantastic. So that was on the Friday.
Yes.
And then on the Saturday, we were at the Trinity Cafe.
Yes, thank you, Team Alison and Alison and Anne and others who were there. Dave was there. Oh yes, Steve was there. Yeah, Steve's here as well. Thank you guys, because I think you got roughly about £120, and it was just great. And there were so many people there. The regular customers came in. A lot of people finding out about the House of Bread. So we did really, really well this weekend, because I also had some funds from the Rotary, which I gather is going to be coming our way shortly. So yeah, we're on a bit of a roll. Yeah.
So brilliant. Two brilliant fundraisers there. And then in the afternoon on the Friday, we had a lovely funeral for Leon.
We did. Thank you everybody who came to Leon's funeral. It was a very special event, and a lot of family were there, and we've got some photographs that we can send to Mum and other members of the family, but it was really a joyous celebration of Leon's life. Yeah, really good. Right,
so that was lovely.
Yeah.
Then we also had some exciting happenings in the newsletter.
Yes, thank you newsletter. Thank you Paul Milgate. Thank you for a feature on the garden, which is all fantastic, and then another feature all about Leon in the paper. So thank you Stafford Newsletter for really helping us promote the House of Bread. So do have a look at your newsletter, because we're in there pretty much every week. So thank you.
Fantastic, yeah. Right, so to finish us off this week, we've got exciting more fundraising opportunities coming up. The comedy nights at the Market Vaults is starting back up after 10 years, I think, of being in Stafford. It's got a rebrand, but to explain more about that, here is Rob.
Hi, well welcome to the Market Vaults, and you're probably wondering why on earth we're here. I'm with my good friend Rob, and together we're going to spend a couple of minutes just talking about the Comedy Club and how they want to help and support the House of Bread. So Rob, good to have you here.
Thanks for having me.
Welcome to the vlog. The Comedy Club, it's your baby.
That's right, yeah. Juice Comedy is the name of our little comedy outfit. And we started running a monthly comedy club in Stafford 10 years ago.
Wow.
And we've been running it monthly on the first Monday of every month ever since. And that was really good. We took over from another little comedy club that started over 10 years ago, which was in the old surgery bar. And when that closed down, I was gutted that there wasn't any stand-up comedy in my hometown.
Right.
And a good friend of mine, Neil Redding, who sort of came up with the idea of doing this, he put it together in what the pub that was at the time called Jocks O'Brady's, which is where we are now. But 10 years later, with a nice new refurbishment, it's brighter and cleaner, and it's now called the Market Vaults.
Brilliant. And I suppose one of the questions that people will be asking about is what the connection with House of Bread?
Well, what we hope will happen, what we hope the connection will be. We could start the best laid plans. So the idea, we're having a bit of a relaunch and a rebranding. So about 18 months to 2 years ago, we moved out of this pub where we'd been based for our entire existence as a comedy club, because the pub was changing hands. We didn't know what the future was going to bring in terms of management, ethos of the building, and the marketing plan. We moved to a lovely little place on Greengate Street, right opposite the Swan. There was a little cafe bistro next to the church called Number 15. We've done a lot of work with them in the past, and a lovely couple that ran that, and they agreed to host us once a month, let us do our wacky, crazy, kind of lo-fi, sitting on the floor boho kind of thing. And we moved our comedy club there, and the future was looking very bright for us. We liked it. We had a little bit more control over our own destinies. And then out of the blue, a few months ago, the place was shut down. So we lost that, and for the first time in 10 years, we were, quote unquote, homeless.
Right.
And during that time period, that got my brain thinking. And as we all know, politics aside, there have been a swath of cuts to affected services that help low-income families and vulnerable adults, and that's dreadful and terrible, and we all need to kind of do something to make it a bit easier. And I ain't got much money, I ain't got much time, but there was a business plan a business model of other comedy clubs that I thought could be used. We secured our new/old home back here in the same pub, where we started 10 years ago, which is now the Market Vaults in St Martin's Place. Landlord, top guy, really nice chap. I've worked with him a lot in the past.
Do you want a name check?
Do I have to? All right. Oliver Kendall.
Oliver Kendall, good man.
Manager and operator of the Market Vaults Limited. And he was so the idea I had is, once we had a home again and we were going to rebrand, there's this business model that comedy clubs in big cities use, where they don't charge the punters anything to come in, which we've never done. Our monthly comedy club has always been open door. You don't pay anything to come and see what's happening, because, and I should point this out in case you're expecting a professional show, because what we offer is grassroots comedy. It is professional comedians trying out new material, new routines, new jokes that might not work, and a few new comedians getting their start on the circuit, trying it out for the first time. Maybe it's their 10th gig or their 100th gig or their first gig. We've done a lot of those. So because there's an uncertainty in that, you can't charge an audience in case, well, for a lot of reasons, you know. So we've always been free. So to get back to the point I was trying to make an hour ago, these comedy clubs in big cities have this business model where they don't charge people to come in, so there's no barrier on attendance, but then at the end they have a bucket and they say to the audience, look, if you've enjoyed the show and you thought it was worth £5, please put £5 in the bucket and help keep us going. Put £3 in if you think it was worth £3. Maybe you only thought it was worth £1 or 50p. And by and large, all the reports say these are much more financially successful than saying to everyone, it's £5 to get in or it's £3 to get in. Something to do about drawing people in. So I thought we could take that business model and adapt it so that when we ask the audience, if you think the show that you've enjoyed for nothing was worth £3, why don't you donate that to a worthy cause like the House of Bread?
Fantastic. And the 6th of July is the first gig?
Yeah, Monday the 6th of July is we're calling it our homecoming back here at the Market Vaults.
That's good. And if I wanted to check out the running order, who's actually going to be on the gig list?
We've got a great lineup. It's all professional comedians for the first show back here on the 6th of July. All professionals who are coming down to try out new stuff. And you can find out all information about us and that at juicecomedy.co.uk. Juice like the orange or the apple.
Got it.
Comedy like, come on.
Okay.
Like comedy.
Brilliant. Okay. And it's really good for us to get a little bit of exposure as well, just the opportunity to pitch to people who perhaps wouldn't know about House of Bread, and that's cool.
Well, that's it as well. We can also raise a little bit of awareness. Some people might not know what House of Bread is, how they operate, what they do, where they can be found, what they can do to help out or be made aware of it. So we can.
And do you have a Facebook page?
We do a Facebook page. It's just search for Juice Comedy. Twitter is @JuiceComedy.
Brilliant.
But the number one priority, having a good time. We're going to have a lot of fun.
And if we're talking to some people who might be aspiring comedians, would it be good for them to make contact with you? Yes,
absolutely, again, visit the website, juicecomedy.co.uk, or send an email through to juicecomedy@gmail.com. Come and see a show, see how it works, see how it goes, and get a feel for things.
And what time? Sorry, we know the date's the 6th of July.
It's an 8 p.m. showtime.
8 p.m. showtime.
And space, it's a tight little space. So if you want a good seat, you want to be able to see things nicely. I say get here, 7:30.
Fantastic, Rob. Thank you
very
Welcome,
much
to our vlog for the first time. I think you'll be back.
Oh, good.
So yeah, great. Thank you very much, Rob. And it's back to the studio.
Right, well, thank you, Rob. That was fantastic.
We're looking forward to that.
Yeah, we really are looking forward to it, and hopefully it'll be
regular thing.
A good, regular little source of fundraising. Excellent. Well, thank you very much for watching this week. We'll see you next week after the epic week in Tesco.
Indeed.
Goodbye.
Cheerio.
The chap who owned the building, nothing to do with the business itself, that was running well. The chap who owned the building wanted to do something else with his property. The lease sort of ended and we were out on our arse. And if I can say arse.
Can
I say arse?
That's cool.
I mean, I'm not just saying, I've said it about 5 times now, so.
Moving on.
We need a bleep button, and I'll give you a heads up.